Stan Gibilisco here, an old beach lifeguard. A little bit old now for that, but I'd like to talk to you just for a moment about what a rip current is. A rip current, seeing as the summer beach season is upon us. Not so much here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. The summer hail season is upon us, and the summer lightning season is upon us. But on the east coast of the United States and in California and Hawaii, you will encounter rip currents. What are they? Well, they are currents that flow outward from shore, and they can carry you out, even if you are a strong swimmer and if you don't know how to cope with them. They can cause you a lot of panic. But if you do know how to cope with them, you can usually get away from them without too much trouble, even if you're not that strong of a swimmer. So I was trained in Brevard County, Florida, and I took a lifeguarding course there in February. Now, I don't know if you have ever been to Brevard County in Florida in February, but the weather is not exactly calm and it's not exactly warm, and there were some substantial surf days there on the east coast of Florida near Melbourne and Cocoa Beach. I lived in a funky apartment right on the beach in Cocoa Beach in would have been 1980. Surfboard and the whole business. You know, that was before they got it real developed, and it was a funky town, a funky beach, and a funky condo. I don't know if I ever did get caught in rip currents powerful enough to overcome me, but I used to swim parallel to shore in Miami Beach and occasionally noticed that I would sometimes be closer and then sometimes farther and sometimes closer and then sometimes farther from shore than I thought I had originally started, and maybe that was what it was. And I even remember coming out of the water once and having the lifeguard tell me that they just pulled 5 people out of the water from a rip current, and maybe I better not go back in. Well, of course I did. But another lifeguard there, she was really cool. She told me, you can take advantage of those to swim out. If you want, surfers, I guess, sometimes use them to swim out. But what is it? It's a current that goes out from shore, but it's only in a confined zone, and I will provide a link to the NOAA Ocean Service website right here so that you can get all of the information that you need about rip currents. Meanwhile, there's a little bit of a summary. Here's sort of how it works. An outward flow only occurs in a very narrow zone, so if you get caught in one of these, swim parallel to shore for a ways and then come back in where the rip current isn't. Don't fight the current. Swim out of the current, then to shore. If you can't escape, float or tread water. And that's another tip I could offer you. When I lived in Hawaii, where the surf is a little different than it is in some of the other places you might go, I used to swim across Kailua Bay in Kailua Kona, Hawaii, about 1.1 kilometers across that bay, and I didn't really want to get into trouble if I got a cramp or something, so I tied a little life belt around my, with a surf tether. I got one of those water skiing life belts, put a surf tether on it, tied it around my ankle. It was bright yellow, so boats would see it if they didn't see me. And in case I got into trouble, I could just pull that life belt around myself and float so that I wouldn't drown, because cramps can drown you if you're 800 yards from shore. If you need help, call or wave for assistance. Well, your best bet, now never swim alone. I have to say I did not take that advice. I wouldn't advise you to swim alone. I would advise you to practice what I preach, not what I did. If in doubt, don't go out. And if they tell you not to go out, for goodness sakes, don't. I remember that one lifeguard, though, she told me to take advantage of the doggone thing. That was kind of funny. But I guess she knew I could cope with it, or thought I could. That was the same beach where I got a moon jelly full in the face. Basketball-sized jellyfish right in the schnoz. I sneezed all the rest of the day. Or is the word I snows all the rest of the day. But this is the site. I will provide you with it, a link to it. in the description of this video, and from an old Brevard County, Florida trained beach lifeguard. Have a good time this summer. So long.